Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Spiritual Grind. We hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to follow, hit the little bell for your notifications when the podcast is posted, and like, follow, and share with your friends. We hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you want us to speak about.
Like, follow, share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast with James and Dr. Jenny.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. I hope everybody's enjoyed their Thanksgiving holiday and are ready for Christmas as they stock up all their Christmas trees for all the little gifts they're giving away.
Get ready for the sugar plums to dance in their head.
And I wonder how many people dropped elbows on Black Friday.
I was like, drop what?
I mean, I remember
we did
them days.
venture out ourselves.
We did. It was crazy that day. Couldn't find parking places. We were all over the place shopping for work. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, we had to pick up some decorations and such.
Yeah, it was a pretty good time, though. We had fun. Some good Starbucks.
It was a different experience than what it used to be. Doing the whole Black Friday, trying to shop for gifts and stuff for the kids and what have you.
Man, listen, I remember going at midnight and waiting in line.
Oh, yeah.
It was crazy just to get something that your kids wanted.
Oh, yeah. You stop at Starbucks, you get your coffee, you get your little snack so you can go wait in line until the doors open.
Yeah, it was crazy back then. It was pretty nuts. Like, I remember when Sears...
It should be Olympic sport.
It should be. Because,
especially back then.
The planning and when Sears was giving out those $500 gift cards for the first 10 people through the door.
Yeah.
Man, it was a fight.
You wanted to get in line quick and camp out and pitch a tent for days.
Eat Thanksgiving and then go sleep in the line at the Sears.
Yep.
It was crazy. I remember I did that one time.
Yeah.
I stood in line I was the first one in line and I was at the wrong door. I was so disappointed. I was like, where's everybody at? Am I wrong on the wrong day? And then I heard some voices and I walked around the corner and there's like a ton of people there.
So you missed out on your gift.
Yeah. And I went over and asked the guy in line, what time did you get here? I got there an hour before he did. I just went to the wrong door. I was just like, yeah, it was disappointing. But it is what it is.
So you ended up like the first 50 instead of the first 10?
I ended up I ended up with no gift cards and never giving away the first 200. So I just went home because I counted. I was like, okay, I'll move on to the next one. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I can remember we would get the like newspaper flyers of where all the sales were going, and we would literally make a map.
Yeah.
Based on what we wanted to buy. There was a whole group of us that would go together. That way somebody could stand in line to check out while the others were grabbing the items for the group.
Yeah.
One person would go in this direction to grab these items at the store. The other person would go in this direction to grab the items at the store. We would look to see, okay, what's the limit on the number of items you can get? And how many people do we need to take so that we can get the limit so that everybody gets what they need on their list.
Strategically planned.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Just like a SWAT team
infiltrating
a building.
That's right. Yeah, for sure. And we would map out our itinerary of, okay, we got to be here at this time. We got to be here at this time. We got to be here at this time. And when we're here, there's a Starbucks. Somebody's going to pop in, get us some nutritional value, some beverages to get us going for the next day.
Yeah.
And then whenever the stores started opening at midnight, like it was a 2-day affair, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was.
No, I remember when what made me go to the Academy one year was they had a $1,000 pitching machine.
Yeah.
That they were going to sell for $350 on Black Friday.
Right.
And my son wanted this machine. And they were one of the ones, this is like the first year they started opening at midnight in Texas. And I finished Thanksgiving dinner and my son came up to me. He's like, Daddy, are you going to go take a nap? Because you got to go the academy tonight. I'm like, okay.
This is happening.
Yeah. And so I ended up taking an hour nap and going to academy.
Yeah.
And grabbed the last one on the pallet.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I got it, and he enjoyed it. The whole baseball team enjoyed it for many years.
I only had one incident all the years that we did that. And it was with a lady over a, those electric knives that you cut the turkey with.
Oh, yeah.
They were like on sale for, I want to say like $5. And there was one left. And she and I put our hands on it at the same time. And we went down, man.
Did you scissor, paper, rock over it?
I don't really even remember. I don't even remember if I ended up with it. It was just like an extra thing. It wasn't a gift. It was like just something that I had been needing to get to replace.
Yeah.
And they happened to have them in a little aisle kiosk thing.
So when you both looked down.
And I was like, you can have it, man. It's all right.
You all both grabbed it at the same time.
Yeah.
It was. You hear in the background.
Yes.
Your eyes meet. And then you both go into the stare down.
Right.
Who's going to let go?
It's like a Western scene.
It's the showdown at sunset.
Yeah, totally. It was. And then I was like, you know what? It's just an extra item for me. So
y'all didn't have a quick draw for it?
No. No, I let go.
That would have been a more extravagant story.
Yeah. No. No, I remember one year my sister... All the kids wanted some popular thing like a Furby or something. Oh my God,
the Furby trend. Holy cow, that was nuts.
And so we had decided we were going to get all the kids one. They were on sale for like, I don't know, something crazy like $5 or something. And they just had them in, at Walmart, those metal bins where they just throw all the balls. They had them in that and they were wrapped up. And the minute they cut the wrapping, everybody just dove. My sister literally dove to the ground in between people's legs. And she was tossing them at me, and I was putting them in the basket because it had the opening like the balls do at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so her strategy was instead of go to the top like everybody else,
she went low instead of go high.
She went low in between everybody's legs. So she was literally laying on the ground in between people's legs, tossing me the Furbies. I was catching them, throwing them in the basket.
That Furby thing was
And I
nuts.
think our limit was like, I don't know, 6 or 10 or something like that.
That was that Furby trend was nuts. Crazy. And it went on for, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
I remember those little Furby keychains. Yeah. Holy cow, it was nuts. I had to have them for their backpacks.
The Tamagotchi.
And the Tamagotchis, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that was crazy.
Good times, man. Good times.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was.
Dropping those elbows.
Yeah, this year was a much different experience. Seemed kind of low key, actually, here in Florida. Black Friday compared to Texas to me.
We weren't going to the popular stores, though, that they go Black Friday shopping.
I mean, that's true. We were shopping for
We were at Hobby Lobby and Michael's and Kirkland's. Yeah. And Kirkland's was packed.
Yeah, there was definitely a crowd at Kirkland's, but most of the stores were pretty low key.
Yeah, I agree. And that one Hobby Lobby was busy. That one, it was...
Yeah.
It was packed, but...
You definitely have to bring your patience and not be in a big giant hurry.
Yeah.
You just got to kick back and relax, man. Bring your lawn chair.
I struggled with the old Black Friday tendencies where you're trying to hit all the stores.
Yeah.
And so I struggled all day with that, not being in a hurry.
Yeah.
Because we really didn't need to be in a hurry.
Right. We didn't really have anything else going on.
But I still struggled with it all day.
Yeah. Just reprogramming a habit.
Yeah. It was fun, though. We had a good time.
Yeah. Definitely a new experience and learned some stuff for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. So it actually this stories kind of bring us to the topic of the day.
Ooh.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, you ready?
I'm ready.
You know what my topic is today?
Bring it on.
It's the what if. What if you actually were talking about it a little bit? We live our lives in a mindset of we create our reality. And when we create reality, sometimes that throw a what if in the mix, it'll really, man, like for me, specifically me, it throws me into a tailspin.
Yeah.
And like the what if this, the what if that, your monkey mind goes crazy.
Yeah. It just fuels the monkey mind. It gives that monkey mind plenty of energy and juice to play around and muck around.
Because you live by the premise of we create our reality and everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And we don't go through our day without understanding that this reality that we've created is ours. It's not somebody else's reality. Everybody's a player in the script of this play, an actor in the script, and everybody's doing their part of it.
Yeah.
But still, that monkey mind will throw all them what ifs out there. And the what if thing for me it can get deep. I mean, I can get into that sleuth mode, and I can bounce off 14 different walls and see every little minor clue and just create this crazy story in my head.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I know what you're going to say.
What?
Because I'm addicted to drama.
No, no, I just mean as a group, just generally speaking, not you in general. I mean, not you specific, just generally. Why do you think the what if is there?
Well, the what if for me, I think it's there in general because we're here for experiences. And sometimes those experiences, whether we recognize them humanly in this reality or not, is something that we have set up either subconsciously or contractually pre-existence.
Yeah, I think the important thing when I asked the question, I wanted to bring about this reminder that the belief system mechanism is designed to always be true. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a beneficial belief or if it's a belief one views as not so beneficial, when you get to a point, there's a point in this journey that you will come to eventually where you find that they're all beneficial because you come to a place that all the beliefs are allowing you to learn something more and deeper about yourself so that you can evolve and expand.
I agree.
So all beliefs are beneficial at some point.
I don't like it, but I agree.
I understand. I know. But the mechanism itself is designed to always make itself true. And if you're getting close to letting go of a belief or being done with a belief, the mind says, oh, you may be close, but you haven't let go of it yet. So I've got to pull out all the stops to get you to hold on to this belief and it be still true.
Okay.
And so that what if comes about, and it will just create stories in all different directions.
It will. And, we as humans in the human experience and understanding that we are here for experiences, it makes us want to figure out why.
Some of us.
Right. I mean, not everybody is so peaceful as you are. But for me, I want to know why is this happening? Because I feel like I wonder if when I come into this reality or when I come into this existence and I created this reality, am I supposed to figure out the why? And so, I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that have agreed to live different parts in different ways just for the experience. But for me, anytime a what if comes up, I want to know why. And it's one of the things that I'm trying to figure out. I know you and I talked about some previous traumas earlier that I thought I had released. And I still, when I was checking in with it, still think I released it. It's the fact that I am one of those individuals that want to know why. And it creates this monkey story.
Right. So, I mean, that is a good topic. Yeah. Wanting to know why can be beneficial, but it can also have a trip up point.
The what if creates the why for me.
Well, and the why, if you're asking why from a standpoint of looking at yourself from a perspective of, okay, why is this happening? What am I hanging on to? What do I have to believe to still be true in order to be creating this situation for me? If you're looking at it like that and wanting to know the why, because you're looking at yourself, then that's beneficial.
That's what I'm doing.
If you're looking at the why from a victim standpoint of why is this happening to me? Why is this person doing this to me? Then that's when it no longer becomes beneficial to explore the why, because that's a much different energy. Victim or loss of control kind of mentality or energy frequency is a much different place to come from when you're asking the why than self-exploration.
Well, I agree with some of what you're saying there. Like the part of it.
What? You should agree with everything.
I don't agree with everything. Because what I don't agree with, or what I do agree with, is the fact that, yes, if you look at it from a victim standpoint, it is completely unhealthy. And if you look at it from why this happened, why is this happening to me, it's an unhealthy thing. And I know humanly we think that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, in this scenario that we're talking about, for me, I know that I create my reality. And I'm not really looking at it from a victim standpoint spiritually. I mean, maybe humanly, I've made some comments that think, well, I mean, why? Why humanly? But that's all human. In reality, when I really check in with it, I'm looking at it of why did I create this in my reality? Why is it here?
Yeah.
What in all these what if things that my monkey mind create are just creating more why questions.
And so how do you go about figuring out the answers? What do you do?
Well, I haven't mastered that yet. And so I go into, I guess, sleuth mode. And I start trying to sleuth things and figure out, okay, so did this happen, this, blah, 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 going through all the motions in my head and my thoughts. And because I have a very, very vivid video memory, and I can look back at things and almost repeat word for word, and most of the time repeat word for word what was exactly said.
Yeah. Like
the previous one that happened, I knew what I had said.
Yeah. And
it got twisted. And so I was trying to figure out why. Why did this happen? Because I know what I said, and humanly I wasn't in the victim mode in that. I was more in the I'm angry mode.
Yeah.
Because what gives these people the right to twist things? And why is it okay? And so it put me into that why scenario.
Right. I mean, so there's two different conversations there. If you're going to have a human conversation, then yeah, you could ask the questions of why do these people, why do they do this to me? Why are they doing this to me? But the reality is that they're not doing it to you. You've set up the play to experience it that way for some encrypted reason. Maybe going into sleuth mode or private investigative mode is really exciting to you and fun. Maybe you find it fun to unravel the mystery.
Let me clarify something. I find it fun on other topics that don't involve me. I don't find it fun when it involves me, because all it does is create monkey mind frustration.
But why?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, why are you letting it create frustration and monkey mind? Why don't you look at it as just as interesting and exciting when you're part of the play? What a better way to learn and grow and evolve when you get to be firsthand one of the characters in the play than a member of the audience watching it. That's a more visceral experience of actually being involved in the lineup of characters when you're experiencing something than it is to be in the audience.
I mean, that's easy to say. But, humanly, we have the monkey mind. And what I mean by monkey mind frustration is I get frustrated and I have monkey mind. I don't mean like I'm frustrated at my monkey mind. I mean, the frustration behind it is completely fed by the monkey mind traits. So, for example, this happened because of this happened, and this is going to happen. And I don't care for that kind
How
of
do you
sleuthing.
know the part about this is going to happen? How do you know that?
That's just monkey mind. I don't know it. But it puts that into your mind of the worst case scenario always. It always seems to be the worst case scenario that's going to happen.
Of course.
And because your monkey mind wants to create fear.
Well, because the mechanism is designed to have you hang on to that belief and it always be true. And so pain and pleasure. It's going to give you a scenario that is, you're going to give yourself a scenario, even if it's subconscious and we call it monkey mind, that seems to be or appears to be more unpleasant
Mind over matter.
than the belief And so therefore you hang on to the belief and stay where you're at rather than letting go of the belief for the definitions and moving forward. So
that's where
what do you do about it?
For many years, I controlled it by using that phrase, mind over matter.
Yeah.
Because if you don't mind, it don't matter.
Right.
And the power of our thoughts are so strong. We have, our minds are crazy strong. We can create things and beliefs and realities just with thought. And when I battle with my monkey mind, which is part of my thought, it becomes a powerful instinct. No, I wouldn't say instinct. Instinct's not the right word. It becomes a powerful response to a hidden, or maybe not even hidden, belief in the background that runs, which makes me, sometimes it creates fear, it creates angry, it creates worry, it creates all these different things. But then here I am spiritually saying, okay, why is this in my reality? And the only process I've found that really works for me is just to kind of push everything to the back and say, okay, let's just stop. Just stop. Go on with your day. See what happens.
Yeah.
And
I mean, sometimes that's the only way you can do it, especially if the pile gets so big that it feels insurmountable. Sometimes you have to just set the pile aside and come out of the middle of the vibrational frequency of the uncomfortable topic or problem or issue and try to get into a vibrational frequency of the solution or the answer so that you can hear it.
Yeah, I agree with that, and ascending to that vibrational spot to where you can actually hear what's really going on and have a greater understanding of it all.
And then dig through
it backwards.
Right. And then start to dig through it. Because when you're knee deep in the middle of it and you're holding that frequency that's bringing it to you, it's hard to hear the answers or the solutions or the, what do you call it whenever you're being a sleuth?
An investigator?
Yeah. I mean, what are the answers called? Are they just called answers?
Yeah. Clues.
Why was I thinking there was a different name
Solved.
for it?
I don't.
Clues.
Clues.
You can't really see the clues as clearly if you're down in that mucky vibration. And so setting that pile aside and just taking a breath and getting back to that higher frequency vibration so that your higher self can help you unravel the clues, be it conversation, be it something somebody said, the symbology of it, really kind of just unraveling clue by clue by clue. You have to set it aside. You have to come out of the garbage can, so to speak, and to get a different perspective and a different vibrational frequency. So it's a good thing.
It's a good way to start too. So I totally agree with what you said, but here's the part that always hangs me up.
Okay.
The bifurcation, as you like the word.
Bifurcation.
Bifurcation or furcation?
The fork in the road.
Bifurcation.
Bifurcation? I don't know. Somebody look that up.
Look that up. Okay. So, because we know we create our reality.
Yeah.
And then we know that we're here for experiences.
Yeah.
So when it comes to a spot to where in your human body, you're living a spiritual experience on this earth, you come to this, when this scenario, the what if scenario happens, and you get to that why of going human or spiritual with it. Why is it the human always seems to tug us in the way of following the worst case scenario line?
Well, I mean, I have my opinion on it. I can certainly share. My opinion is that...
Isn't this your podcast?
It's our podcast.
It's our podcast. But that means your opinion too, right?
Wow, that was a little tart.
I was just playing with you.
You're feeling a little tart this morning.
No, I'm not tart.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Monster.
Oh. Are we going to behave like a monster?
Always.
My opinion of that is some of it's habit.
Okay.
We as a society...
Human habit?
Yeah. We as a society have been taught to focus on the chaos of life.
Okay.
And we cover that in many, many podcasts. We watch the news, and there's always ruckus going on there. There's groups of people that focus on battle against cancer, battle against drugs, battle against this. And we focus on the problems.
Is it focusing on the solution?
Right.
I agree with that.
And so if you're giving your energy to the problem and you're continually just teaching yourself to focus on the problem, then it's all energy and frequency and what feels better. And if you've trained yourself that you have to focus on the problem so it doesn't get bigger, or you have to focus on the problem so that you can be ready for a rainy day, or prepare to have plan A, B, C in place so that the other shoe doesn't drop and catch you off guard. If that's how you've been trained and that's how you've been programmed, then you're going to live your life that way until you catch yourself doing it and make a decision to live your life in a different way.
I agree. Society does teach us to focus on the problem.
Yeah.
GoFundMe lives on that.
If that is your primary focus and your habitual way of thinking, and you don't catch yourself and you don't make yourself consciously aware and create different habits of thinking, then you'll continue to get more of that experience because that holds a frequency in and of itself. And so you've aligned yourself with the dimension and with the parallel realities that kind of go in that file folder of, let me focus on the problem. Let me focus on the chaos. Let me plan for a rainy day. Let me be, plan A, B, C, so that I'm always prepared, so that nothing catches me off guard, so that it's not painful or uncomfortable. And so you'll find yourself living in this kind of loop experience of always having more chaos, more nonsense, more drama, and it'll just keep looping around and looping around and looping around. And I think for me, starting the podcast and the Merck Center is my way of kind of just bringing an awareness to those that haven't achieved that, so that they can make a decision to start reprogramming their life intentionally the way that they would really like to experience it, instead of just subconsciously letting it happen on auto drive based on how they've been programmed their whole life by the they society.
I'm completely on board with you on this page, and I kind of want to recap a little bit.
Okay.
I want to make sure that I understand the complete process of what we talked about. So when everything happens for a reason and then something does happen, the monkey mind creates the what if stories, which in turn, humanly, we start looking at the whys. And we should go into this knowing that society teaches our human to do this and focus on the problem instead of moving past it and focusing on the solution.
Yeah.
No matter what that is. It can be small things. It can be large things.
Right.
The main thing for me that kind of rings my bell more is realizing that the what ifs are fear-based stories created by the monkey mind, and can be made true if it rings a belief.
Well, of course, yeah. If you continue to hang on to those what if stories by the monkey mind and are not letting yourself let go of the heavy baggage that's called a belief so that you can redefine everything, then yeah, that belief will continue to make itself true, whatever it's about. If it's, like for example, let's break it down into an example that people can maybe relate to. If you have a belief that if you were raised in a situation where in your household, your parental people were wrapped up in the drama always and doing all of that, oh my gosh, he said, she said, gossiping, gabbing, talking about other people, looking for can you believe she did this? And can you believe she did that? And that was their whole world, because it was interesting and exciting to them then you're learning that as a child coming up, and you may not know how to live a life differently unless you're consciously aware that it doesn't feel good and you don't have to live that way, and start to make choices about who you hang out with and what you're wanting to experience and what you're actually experiencing. If you find yourself in a group of people and you've come to the determination that I really just don't like the gossiping mentality, I want to come away from that. I would like to just have a little more peace in my life and not be part of this stirred up drama. Then when you come to that place where you're ready to just dump that experience, you'll find yourself not resonating with the reality shows that are based around that drama, bachelorette. Oh my God, can you believe he kissed her? And
right.
Then you'll find yourself recognizing it in the social aspects of your life and who you're hanging out with. So your friends may change. Your family members may even change because you find yourself no longer wanting to hang on to that
low vibrational spot,
lower vibrational experience, and coming to a place where you get to experience life in a more calm manner that is more peaceful because it feels better.
I mean, because we're kind of trained to be in this trauma drama.
Yeah.
Because even in high school or in junior high, middle school, elementary, any of that stuff, you have that social trauma drama constantly. Who's dating who, who's doing what weirdo, what geek, what athlete, what jock, what band,
of course.
So it's...
Your media uses it all the time.
Oh,
the trauma drama is what sells news.
Oh, I agree.
The trauma drama is what gets ratings on the reality TV shows.
Because we're taught to listen to the problem.
Yeah.
And identify and create a fear-based story on the problem.
Yeah. And so if you're just mindlessly, robotically going through life on a subconscious level and not really paying attention to it in an unawakened state, you'll just continue to live that loop and go round and round. That
constant loop of what ifs that, and it can be a daunting road.
It can. It definitely can.
Moving into a different thought process and scenario for me is, I think today when I identified, I am that person that likes to know the why. And so it gives me a little bit of a control of that reality. And I don't have to necessarily know the why, as long as I'm recognizing that I'm that guy that wants to know the why, and start working on those beliefs behind it. Because we are taught, like you said it right, we're taught from a young age to get caught up in the trauma drama, the backbiting, the gossip, the
plan for a rainy
who's
day,
sleeping with who, financially plan for a rainy day, right, or any of that stuff. So we're taught.
Wait for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting.
Right. We're taught to be ready for the drama.
Right.
Instead of being ready for the success.
Yeah.
And that's when we get to a point of awakened enough that when situations happen in our life, we're like, whatever.
I'm just tired of it. I don't want to live that loop anymore. Right. And so you just dump your baggage because it's just experiences. And so then it just becomes okay, so what?
Yeah.
And I find myself when that's going on, I just relocate myself altogether and entirely. I just don't hang around those people. If I have to, because of my job or something, it's very limited interaction just to get down to business and then move on.
Yeah.
Because for me, it just is not exciting. It is not equivalent to my joy, my excitement. I do look at it from a standpoint of curiosity of, okay, why did this pop into my reality? Is there some little nugget of debris left in that belief system? Or did I want to give myself a quick little pop quiz to see if I had actually changed? Because that could be the thing too, you have to remember.
Yeah, you're checking yourself.
If you feel like, and you mentioned this earlier about, I feel like I released the belief and changed up the definitions and redefined that. And you may have. And so to test that, sometimes you'll recreate a small little event to experience just to kind of give yourself a pop quiz. Did I actually change? And is that belief actually dissolved and dissipated? And so you'll test yourself to see if you react or respond in a different way. And so then if you don't, if you respond or react in the same way, then you're like, okay, there's more work to do, or there's more that's ready to come up in a different layer or whatever. Or if you pop quiz yourself, similar scenario, and it really doesn't create any kind of emotion because our emotions are our guidance system, then you can walk away and give yourself a pat on the back and the little cheer button gets hit. Yay. I passed that test, and now you know what? I am a different person, and it feels good. It feels good to be a different person. And so sometimes you'll have those experiences that seem very similar just to kind of test yourself to see, have I really changed? Have I really released that belief system? Or is there something more that I can release, or something else that I'm still choosing to believe is true because I need to learn the next level of whatever this experience will bring to me?
Yeah, and that can be the part of the awakening process that well, I'll talk specifically about me, that I always struggled with moving past it, saying, okay, being that mallard duck and saying, I hide it from people pretty well, but I don't until as of late. I've been more apt to show
You've been letting your slip hang out of your dress.
Yeah, I've been kind of letting
your slip showing, dude.
Yeah, my stupid showing too. And I allow my emotions to show, especially to you. I really, out there, really not as much, but when it comes to sharing it with my person, I have been more apt to do that. And it's okay for me, because part of me moving on.
Whoa, let's talk about this for a second.
Well, what I mean,
it's okay for you, but is it okay for her?
Well, what I mean by it is,
I'm just kidding.
I'm okay with being that person that's the why guy. I want to know the why. I'm okay with that, and because I think part
is
of
that because it brings about some sort of joy or excitement for you.
I like to know the why. I've always kind of liked those.
So if you check in with
things.
Your emotional guidance system, does it bring about an emotion that is pleasurable?
When you're asking the why. When I'm asking the why about other people, yes. But when it's with me, my emotional guidance system is telling me, pump the brakes, Batman. And so, because I don't like it for me. I've always been that guy that's intrigued by crime stories, murder mysteries. I've always been that guy as long as I can remember.
Okay. Well, you can journey on that way if you want.
And it's okay for me, because I think the part of this that I have to be okay with is identifying myself as the guy that likes to know the why, and then be awake enough to stop it and control it or move on from it. And I think that's where, because I believe that identifying beliefs that don't resonate with you, a big part of that is recognizing that it's you. It's you that have created this. It's you that are doing it. It is you that is put yourself in the what if situation. And it's you that's allowing the monkey mind to control your thoughts. And so that's part of it that gives me that empowered feeling of that reality that I feel like is not in my power. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you don't agree with it, but
I mean, there's parts of it that I have questions for you on. Obviously, is if you know that it's you creating your reality, then why do you not like to ask the why of yourself, and you like to ask the why of other people? Why do you not like to be in the spotlight or on the stand, so to speak? Why?
Maybe I misphrased that. I like being in the spotlight. Socially, I like being in the spotlight. But when it comes to the fear-based what-if stories, I don't like being in the spotlight.
Why?
I don't know. I don't mind looking at it spiritually, but when it comes to the human spotlight, I don't really care for it. Because, well, I do know it's fear-based. It's about, waiting for that shoe to drop, that's what it's about. I mean, I understand the scenario behind it, that it is a fear.
So let me clarify. So what you're saying is you don't like being one of the characters in the story where the focus is on you, with the story plot.
Yes.
You like being part of the story when the plot is pointed to somebody else.
Yes.
I see. So you like being the investigator who's free and clear of any like suspected wrongdoings or wrongdoings.
Right.
It's when you're the focus of suspected wrongdoings or the target of the topic that you're not liking.
Because here's the fact behind it is.
So then why did you create it that way?
I don't know. I'm look. That's exactly where I'm at in my thought with it. Is I'm trying to figure out why did I do this,
Okay.
and what is the benefit of it in my spiritual journey, because, and how much of it is societal? Because the reality is, if you were to pull an ambulance up to the front of a building that has 100 people in it, 80 of those people are going to go to the window and look.
Okay.
8 out of 10 people are going to want to know what's going on, and I don't necessarily care for the scenario when I'm the guy in the ambulance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
And so that's where I'm at with it, is I'm looking at trying to get a better understanding of why is this in my reality? Why am I doing it?
Why are you creating yourself to be the center of the game or the storyline?
Right.
Yeah.
And
but if you don't enjoy looking at yourself when you are, then it's a contradiction and you won't allow yourself to hear the answers.
I agree.
And if you're saying it's a societal taught thing as a permission slip not to look at yourself, then you're not being totally and fully accountable for whatever may come up that you need to look at. So I would just caution you on that.
Well, I mean, I agree with that statement a little, somewhat, not quite all the way, but the reality for it is we are humanly taught for that. And when I get into a spot of...
But whenever so I'm going to stop you right there and let me just interject.
Okay.
Yes, you are humanly taught, but the moment that you become consciously aware that it's happening, and if it keeps happening, you are then making a conscious choice to continue to believe or continue to perpetuate habits that make it keep being true for you. You're not doing something about it.
Okay, I agree.
So you can no longer use the permission slip or the out of, well, I was taught that societally, so it makes it okay. Because
I didn't mean it like that.
No, I'm just saying, I feel like that needs to go out to the crowd.
Yeah, like I said, I think
you
that
still
same
have to
scenario.
know that it's going on, and then you make a choice of, okay, well, do I want it to be that way? Am I getting some sort of enjoyment out of it? Is it fun? Do I enjoy it? Or do I really not enjoy it? I want it to be differently.
Well, that's exactly kind of where I was going with the statement. And what I mean is even on the little things in life, once we identify or we have these what if stories going on,
yeah,
and we can identify it in any level of it, identifying the questions of my involvement in it and giving yourself a reason empowers you. And so, like, and it's not an out for me. It's humanly a way to identify and understand, and gives me empowerment into a greater understanding that I was taught this way. And so it makes it okay for me to stop and say, why am I taught this? Why am I allowing it to keep reciprocating into my reality? And then you can go on to the solutions with the whys and stop the monkey mind stories.
Yeah, I mean, and that's okay. There's a minor trip up in that process, just a hair, if I may conversate about it.
Yes, you may. So
go into a place of, okay, this is why it's in my reality, because I was taught that is a better feeling place that will allow some of the vibrational frequency to change to where you can hear a next level of information on figuring out the puzzle. But it is in and of itself cloaking or covering up, maybe possibly, the core lesson to be learned if you're continuing to use that excuse, so to speak, of, okay, well, I was taught this, so Now let me figure out why I'm hanging on to it. It'll get you clear and it'll release beliefs to that point. But if you don't stop and look at it from a higher perspective, yeah, society taught me that, or my parents taught me that, but I still create my own reality even prior to coming into this human meat suit. And so why did I put this scenario in my reality to be taught that by my parents or by society in the first place? What did I want to learn? That's just taking it to that next deeper level. So if you're not careful and make sure you go back and look at that, it will seem like you've cleared the belief, but it's like an onion, like we've talked about before. And yeah, you've cleared the beliefs on, maybe the first 47 layers, but when you get to 48, 49, and 50, they're hidden from you still because you used a temporary permission slip of, I was taught this by my parents or society, and you don't look at it because that's your answer, but that's only a temporary answer that got you from
point A to point B.
That point to that point. And so if you find that it's popping back up in your reality, it could be that you need to then come to a place of, okay, I was using that to get from there to here. Now it's time for me to dig deeper, dive deeper into this and really explore why my higher self, my spiritual self, put this whole play together. And why did I come into a reality where society taught me that? What did I really want to get from it? That way, that gets you down to the deepest level, getting rid of kind of the core, the seed, so that it can completely be let go of.
I'm totally on board with you. And here's what my thoughts are in it is, and to kind of recap everything for me, is we pre-existently create a script that we are going to live in this life and have the experiences. The scene or the set is the situations that happen, and the experience is the emotions behind it and the feelings that we get that create beliefs or bring up old beliefs that need to be cleared. That's really the experience we're looking for, and empowering ourselves to recognize our involvement in anything I think is the key to empowering identifying those beliefs.
I mean, yeah, that's the whole, that's one of the purposes. Mm-hmm. The purpose is to come and have experiences.
Right.
But remembering that they're not real. They feel real because you created that. Because if you know that you're a spiritual being that can experience the world simultaneously in 360 degrees and that it's not real, it wouldn't be a true, authentic experience. It would be a much different experience. So there has to be mechanisms in place that allow you to make it feel very real and very, very home and visceral and like down to the core so that you can have the deepest experience that you can have with it. The beliefs are what create the perspective on how the experience goes and the definitions. The emotions are letting you gauge whether you want to continue to hang on to the beliefs and the definitions or the patterns, or whether you're ready to actually look at them, be accountable for them, and dive deep into them because they no longer feel good. They're no longer serving you. You're fed up, you're tired, whatever. Those are all emotions that guide you to say, okay, you know what? I'm ready to dig into this because the feeling of having it continue to go on is much more uncomfortable than the thought of being able to release it and be a lighter, more evolved being.
I agree with you. I think
it's not that the emotions create the belief. Is that the beliefs create the emotions?
Yeah. Did I say that the other way? Did I say it the other way?
You did. Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't have beliefs or definitions around something, then you're not going to have an emotion about it.
Fair enough.
And if it's not some circumstance or event or situation that's hitting home, it's a much different experience. If you are watching somebody else experience something and it's not really tugging on any belief that you have in place, then you're just watching it go on, and there's no need for you to emotionally respond to it. And most of the time, you don't even feel like you need to be a part of it or interact with it. It is just kind of, okay, it is what it is. I'm sorry it's happening to you, man, but whatever. Because you may be a character in their play.
I get it. Yeah.
It may not be meant for you to experience on a deep level like that. You just may have agreed to be a certain character in their play to get them continuing on the virtual experience that they wanted to create. And so if it doesn't hit home or it doesn't tap on a belief that's ready to come up or any of that, then you're going to look at the situation and be like, okay, so what? No emotion comes out of it.
I agree. So I hope that people that are listening understand that it's okay to have the what ifs as long as you control them and empower yourself to look at the belief systems behind them.
I mean, it's always, the thing about it is judgment. Don't judge.
Yeah.
It's okay to be where you're at. Don't criticize and don't judge. You are where you are.
Yeah.
And you're not going to leave where you are until you're ready to leave where you are.
I agree.
And it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how fed up you are. Unless you're fed up enough to where you really dig around in it and just let the crap go. You are where you are. And so you might as well embrace it. You might as well embrace contrast and look at it as not a problem, not an issue. It's just part of the whole game. Contrast is just a neutral thing. You can't invalidate the contrast and hate it and love the positive outcome. You've got to embrace both of them, and they have to be positive. The contrast is what helps you decide, oh, you know what? I'd like to have that just a little bit better. And so you can't leave here loving the little bit better and wanting more of that when you absolutely deny or resist or ignore the contrast that help you get there.
I agree. I have a what if for you.
What if?
What if everybody was to check out our website, www.themerccenters.org. That's THEMERCCENTERS.org.
What if?
What if?
Come see us. We'd love to visit you.
Yeah. Give us a message on our social media at the Merc Centers. You can look it up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We do have a blog, by the way, and we also have more podcasts all on the website. And if you'd like to, you can subscribe to receive the blog in your email. All you do is subscribe at the bottom of the website page.
Yeah.
So check us out on social media. Follow us, share us with your friends. I feel complete about this podcast. How about you?
Oh yeah. I mean,
I'm good.
Yeah, I could talk for days about all of it. I could sit here and just talk and talk and talk.
And talk and talk. We know that. No kidding. Hey, we love you all. Thank you all for listening. And don't forget, check us out on social media at the Merc Centers, and check out our website and like, follow, and share.
Ring that bell, man.
We love you.
Love you.
Have an awesome day.